Okay, so like imagine you go to work tomorrow and like everything's just a little bit off. Maybe some of your daily tasks are now being done by like something else. And like there are all these new projects using tech you haven't even heard of. That's the world that AI is building, right? And it's a lot closer than we all think.
It's happening right now and like at a pretty mind-blowing pace too.
So today we are diving deep into how AI is going to change the world of work. We'll talk about how jobs will change, what skills we need, and like what it might mean for the entire global economy. Get ready for some surprising facts and real-world examples because this stuff is going to change the way you think about your career, no matter what you do for work.
Exactly. That's the goal. We aren't just here to explain AI, we're here to help you stay ahead of the curve.
I love it. So first up, can we just acknowledge how big this AI boom is? It's not just a few robots on a factory floor anymore.
Right. Like, think about this. Business use of AI has grown by 270% in just the last 4 years. That's actually faster than the early days of the internet, and it's impacting every industry.
Okay, 270%, that's huge. But what does that actually mean for people in their day-to-day work? Like, what are some examples of AI that are already out there?
Well, you've probably heard of ChatGPT. That's a good example of what we call generative AI. It can write all kinds of creative content, and people are already using it in healthcare customer service marketing, and even to write movie scripts.
Wait, AI writing movies?
Mm-hmm.
So is Hollywood going to be run by robots?
Well, not quite, but it does raise interesting questions about how creative jobs will change. Remember, big changes in tech haven't historically eliminated entire jobs overnight. It's the tasks within those jobs that change.
Okay, so instead of will robots take my job, it's more like will a robot take over parts of my job?
Exactly. And that leads to the next question. Which tasks are likely to change and which ones become more important?
So it's less about losing your job and more about adapting and learning new skills.
You got it. It's about looking at your job as a set of skills. AI will likely automate some of them, which will make the others more valuable. And that's where the opportunities lie. For example, we are already seeing huge growth in jobs related to managing AI and analyzing data because someone needs to build these systems and make sense of the information.
That makes sense. So some tasks are going to be automated, and then the skills you need to manage those systems and analyze the data they produce, those will be the hot new jobs, right?
Right. And it's not just about tech skills either. Those human skills we all have, like critical thinking, creativity, communication, those actually become even more important in an AI-driven world.
Oh, so it's like AI is pushing us to be more human at work, like to focus on the things that robots can't do, such as building relationships or solving those really complex problems. I kind of like that.
It's an interesting paradox, isn't it? And it's happening in all sorts of fields. Even in healthcare, AI is being used to help doctors diagnose diseases more accurately, personalize treatment plans, and even assist with surgeries. But this doesn't mean doctors will be out of a job.
So what does it mean for doctors then?
Well, what if doctors could spend less time on data entry and paperwork and more time actually connecting with their patients? What if AI could help them understand complex medical info more quickly so they could make better decisions? We're talking about a different kind of healthcare here, one that is more efficient and human-centered.
That's a future I can get behind, for sure.
Yeah.
More time with my doctor, better care, and hopefully shorter wait times too.
It's definitely a possibility. But with all this talk about efficiency and new opportunities we have to address the elephant in the room, what about the economic impact of all this change? Will AI just make the rich richer?
That's a good question. A lot of people are worried that AI will just lead to bigger gaps between the haves and have-nots.
And it's a valid concern, one we should take seriously. Some experts are worried that AI could cause people to lose their jobs and widen wage gaps, especially for people in jobs that are easy to automate. They point to trends we've seen in manufacturing, where automation has increased inequality.
So history is making some people nervous about the future.
Right. But there's another side to this coin, too. Other experts argue that AI's efficiency could actually lead to greater equality, because services like healthcare and education would become more affordable and more people would have access to them.
So could it actually help to level the playing field in some ways?
Exactly. Imagine if AI could help to personalize education for every student, no matter their background or learning style. Or imagine if it could provide high-quality healthcare that is affordable to people in remote areas that currently have limited access. These are some pretty powerful possibilities.
So there is no easy answer here. AI has the potential to make inequality worse and to make it better. And how things turn out will depend on how we decide to develop and implement these technologies.
Exactly. We need to be having these conversations right now about ethics, about job security, and about what work will even mean in a world driven by AI. We need to make sure that our economy and our political systems are set up in a way that ensures AI benefits everyone and not just a select few.
Speaking of these conversations, we are already seeing some pushback against AI in certain industries, like the Hollywood writers and actors who are currently on strike because they are worried about AI being used to replace their work.
Yeah, that's a really interesting example of how fast things are changing and how important it is that we have these conversations about AI's role in society. What are the ethical implications of using AI to create art, and what are the legal ones? These are questions that we are only beginning to ask.
Wow, this is a lot to think about. It sounds like AI isn't just some far-off fantasy. It's already changing the world around us in a big way.
And the speed at which things are changing is only going to increase. That's why understanding these trends is so important. No matter what field you work in, this will impact your career.
You heard it here first, folks. AI isn't just a problem for the future. It's something you need to be thinking about right now. We'll be right back to dive even deeper into the skills you need to thrive in this exciting AI-powered world. Stay tuned.
So we talked about AI changing things up, but what does that actually mean for you? What skills will you need to do well in this new world of work?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do we need to learn to stay ahead of the robots?
Well, the good news is you don't have to become like a coding expert or a data scientist. Although those are good skills to have, it's more about being adaptable and a lifelong learner, and being okay with the fact that the skills you have today might be totally different in 5 years.
Okay, so it's less about specific technical skills and more about a mindset, like being open to change and willing to learn new things all the time.
Exactly. The jobs of the future will probably involve working with AI, managing it, and always learning new tools and technologies. Think of AI as a really powerful tool in your toolbox. Like any tool, it can be used for good or bad, and it takes skill and knowledge to use it the right way.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be afraid of AI. We should try to master it. We should be the expert craftspeople of the AI age.
I like that. You're exactly right. It's about developing those really human skills that AI can't copy. Things like critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, and complex problem solving. Those are the areas where humans will always be better.
So it's not humans versus robots. It's humans and robots working together.
Precisely. We need to stop being afraid of being replaced and start looking at the possibilities AI brings. It's all about collaboration, not competition.
I get it, but it's still a little scary.
Mm.
Like what if I'm not good at those human skills? What if I'm just not that adaptable?
It makes sense to feel that way. Change can be unsettling, but every major technological advancement has changed the workforce. The printing press, the steam engine, the computer, they all made people worry about losing their jobs.
But they also created new industries and opportunities that people back then could never have imagined, right?
Exactly. And AI is no different. In fact, it could help to create a more fair and successful society if we approach it in the right way. What if AI could help us solve huge problems like climate change or poverty? What if it could free us from boring tasks so we could focus on more meaningful work?
Okay, now I'm feeling a bit more optimistic. So let's get practical. What are some actual things people can do to prepare for this future with AI, besides hiding in a bunker and hoping for the best?
Well, hiding never solved anything. The good news is that you can be proactive. The most important thing is to embrace lifelong learning. The skills you have now might not be the ones you need tomorrow. So be curious, be open to new things, and invest in your own development.
So things like taking online classes, going to workshops, or even going back to school.
Those are all great options. And don't just focus on technical skills. Remember, those human skills are more valuable than ever. So work on your communication skills, your emotional intelligence, and your ability to work with others and build relationships.
Because in the end, it's still humans who are making the decisions, leading the teams, and shaping the future, right? AI will be a powerful tool, but we're the ones in control.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between using technology and developing our own human abilities. That's how you'll thrive in the AI age.
So let's talk bigger picture here. What can companies and governments do to help with this transition? Because it sounds like we're going to need some help navigating this new world.
Of course. This is going to take a group effort. Companies need to invest in training their employees and giving them chances to learn and adapt. Governments need to create policies that support this change, provide help for those who lose their jobs, and invest in education and training programs that prepare people for the new jobs.
It sounds like a lot of work, but it's also really exciting. We're talking about shaping the future of work. This is a chance to create a more fair and fulfilling work experience for everyone.
I completely agree, and it's a conversation we all need to be a part of. What do we want the future of work to look like? What role should AI play? We need to figure this out together.
Well said. And I think this is a good place to change gears a little bit. We've talked big picture, but now let's look at some real examples. When we come back, we'll look at how AI is already changing different industries and what that means for the future of work. Okay, so we're back and ready to talk about some examples of how AI is already changing things in different industries. I'm excited to hear how this is actually working.
Well, let's start with healthcare. AI is being used to analyze medical images, which is helping doctors find diseases like cancer earlier and more accurately.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having an extra set of eyes, like a super assistant for doctors to help them make important decisions.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. And it goes even further than just diagnoses. AI can also help create personalized treatment plans that consider a patient's genes and lifestyle. This could really change healthcare and make it more effective and less expensive.
That's definitely a game changer. So what about other areas? Are we seeing AI in creative jobs too?
Absolutely. Like marketing and advertising AI can analyze tons of data to understand what consumers do. So companies can make sure their ads are reaching the right people. It's like having a mind reader on your team. And in journalism, AI is already writing simple news reports. This gives human reporters time to work on longer stories and investigations.
So it's not taking away from human creativity, it's making it better and more efficient. That's a relief. What about jobs that seem easy to automate, like manufacturing or transportation? Are robots going to take those over completely?
Those are definitely areas where we are seeing big changes. But it's not just robots replacing humans, it's more like humans and robots working together.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Think of a factory. You might have robots doing the heavy lifting and repetitive work, but you still need people to oversee the whole process, fix problems, and make sure everything is high quality. These new jobs often need even more skills and training than the jobs they replaced.
So even in jobs that are becoming automated, there's still a need for humans.
Absolutely. The important things are adaptability and constantly learning. As technology changes, we have to change too. And that means learning new skills and ways of working. This isn't a one-time thing, it's an ongoing process.
This is a lot to take in, but it's also really exciting. We're at the start of a new way of working, and we all have a role to play in shaping what that looks like. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
Be open to change. Stay curious and never stop learning. The future of work is full of possibilities. And if you are adaptable and open to new experiences, you will succeed.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, this isn't just about your job. It's about creating the future we all want to live in. Let's embrace the challenges and the opportunities that AI brings and create a world where technology helps us all.
I agree. It's been great talking about this with you.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into AI and the future of work. We hope you learned a lot and that you are feeling inspired. And if you want to learn more about this topic, check out the resources in the description. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep exploring the world around you.